Natural physics is a concept astrophysicist LeRoy developed that explains in down-to-earth scenarios how the principles of physics could have come about from observing nature. Each episode begins with a scenario, followed by an example to illustrate the application of these principles in futuristic research at the frontiers of science, such as LeRoy's astrophysics doctoral research, and then concludes with an exploration of how these same principles could have very well been used by ancient cultures and civilizations. Mathematics is naturally encountered and incorporated as the exciting and fun tool of science that it is. Science is the window into our amazing world of nature, and mathematics is the tool to open that window. Natural physics encompasses current, futuristic, and ancient physics, and ties them together by the principles of physics that are common threads running throughout each.
So let's talk more about the CubeSats.
Okay.
So it's 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter. It's called 1 unit. You can add several units in the same payload, and you put all that CubeSat unit in a kind of tube, square one, called peapod. May we share the screen?
Yes.
As you can see on the screen, that's a peapod device. You put your small CubeSats inside the peapod, and you can put 3 of them on that small unit, 3 units. And with the spinner, it will release the CubeSats. So the main goal is to charge your payload, so all the small satellite inside that tube, and charge that tube inside the rockets. Send the rocket to space, and then open the gate and release the CubeSat in space, so they can communicate with Earth, collect the data from space with the sensor we add inside the CubeSat. So we can collect the data used for science, and not today you even use for commercial purpose. So let's see more what we can do with how we build the CubeSats. And then at the end, you will see the entire CubeSat sets.
All right. Okay. Pascale, thank you so very much for explaining and demonstrating the CubeSat, small satellites, which play a very important role in accumulating, collecting the data that's needed to determine the effects of global warming on our planet Earth, and also the data collected about biodiversity. Thank you so very much. And we are going to continue this dialogue, of course, but in closing for this show, please, I leave it to you to close us out for this show.
Thank you, LeRoy. To add a comment about what you just say, yes, satellites are used to collect data about our planet and also the global warming. But space research can help also to find a solution to consume less. Because in the ISS, everything we send there costs a bunch of money.
And that's the international. I'm sorry, Pascale, excuse me. The ISS, that's the International Space Station, correct?
Exactly. Thank you,
Yes.
LeRoy.
Yes, yes, yes.
So there, you cannot have a large fridge like the American fridge doing everything. So you need to save space and weight and energy. So that's why in the ISS we developed some technology who can save energy and a lot of resources. We even recycle the water from the pee and sweat there. So
Yes.
not going so far, but some of us technology can be used on Earth because there is water stress here too. And energy is costing so much money now. And we could reduce our consumption too with those technology we had developed for the ISS. So
And
space can raise a lot of topics, sometimes technological solution, but to conclude, we need all our mindset and effort and happiness to solve
yes,
this challenge about
yes,
global warming.
yes.
Because we have so many solutions today to solve it, it's mainly in our hands.
And Pascal, let me make sure I remember these numbers correctly. Okay. 2 tons of CO2 emission, carbon dioxide, is the goal for our planet, for countries to be able to get below that 2 tons of carbon dioxide that a human being is responsible for in 1 year. And Costa Rica is at 1.6. I believe you said France is at 10 and the United States is at 20. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. Thank you to remind that data. Yes,
Wow.
thank you.
Wow. So, for example, the United States to go from 20 down to below 2, that's going to require quite a bit.
Yeah, but it's an easier way too, because when you are so high, but it's because you can remove lots easily. You don't need all of them.
Yes.
It's,
Yes.
so
Yes.
you have some extra. So it
Okay.
will be much more easier for an American to reduce 5, even 10 ton
Oh,
compared to a French one. He's going to remove 5 ton, but it's already more or less lower.
okay.
So it's so if I had to choose, it's maybe better to be starting by 20. It will be easier. And
Okay.
many part of that are based on our energy system. Because when we consume even a clothes or a table or phone have been made by energy. Even to get the resource and the material to build it, you need energy. So that energy is a main part of the global warming and CO2 footprint of the item you buy. So if we switch from fossil to renewable, we will be able to reduce, but it's going to take a little bit time for sure, so we can reduce our lifestyle waiting for switching our energy system.
Mhm.
But you know what? The good news in that, our parents and grandparents have already switched from one kind of energy to another kind of energy, because before it was coal, and then we had fuel, and then we had nuclear, and then we will have renewable.
Yes.
We are changing all the time.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is not the first change of energy usage. So if our grandpa did it,
And Pascal, let
we
me let
will
me
do
just
it.
say, I remember when I was growing up as a kid, and one of my aunts in her cellar, her basement, she had a place to store coal, where coal was delivered. And so, as you said, yes, 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 yes,
Yeah. And cold are not good for health. You breathe, it's what's killing us. That's why we switch for fuel too. But fuel is not good for health too, because the car produce emission in the city. You breathe, the emission is not good too. It's better with cold, but
yes,
not good too, and the terrible for the planet and cold too. So we have to switch again. It's okay. We already switched 3 times to be better and better.
yes,
So we are switching all the time, but still living and be happy.
yes, yes. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. I am learning so much from you, Pascal, about global warming, biodiversity, and how people, countries, governments have to realize that our earth, I may sound like a broken record. You know that phrase broken record where it just keeps repeating, repeating, repeating. I I I mean from the information you provided about how as a species, the human race, we are on the verge of going past the limit of no return for us and for the other species on our planet. On the biodiversity side, Pascal, I remember you saying that Africa had lost 90% of its biomass. Is that correct?
Yes,
And what exactly does that mean? 90% of its, and you said France had lost how much of its biomass?
25.
25%. So, what does that mean when a country has lost 25% of its biomass or 90% of its biomass? What does that mean, Pascal?
It's a loss of species and it's a loss of individual in the species. Even the species is still a large number of individual. You are losing a large number of individual individual inside the species.
That
So
will
at some
that
point it will be
that I'm
traced.
sorry, that will never come back.
Yeah, yes, yes. No, no,
Huh?
no. It can come back because if you have still enough species, it can come back, and it has been proved.
Okay.
If a threat area have been protected, the life will be back on it. But if you wait too much, the species will disappear or the species will be too weak and it's going to be too late and it will take too long to reappear. So it's really important to manage that because we are impacted by the reduction of number of that biomass. So
Okay.
we are, our planet is sick.
Okay. Okay. Wow, that's quite a wake-up call, I think. Not I think I know to the nations of the world.